Donna Scraps, and today I'm going to be sharing with you the easy way of creating orange peel quilt blocks by using the Accuquilt Go Essentials software, your home embroidery machine, and pre-cut 5-inch squares. What you're going to need for this project is the Accuquilt cutter, the Accuquilt Go die number 55455, pre-cut 5-inch squares, water-soluble or tear-away stabilizer, an embroidery machine with its hoop and thread. Let's go ahead and set up our software page now. First thing we're going to do is open a new window or a new page. I'm going to go to the upper left-hand corner, select New Page, and I now have a clean design table. I'm going to go into my preferences and I'm going to set the size of my hoop. For my Janome, I'm going to set the Jeff, which if you have another format machine, click on the down arrow and select the format that you use and the hoop size that will best accommodate what I'm doing. For me, it is my square 14 or 140 millimeter square. Select Apply and OK. And you could see maybe in the background that the outline, the darker yellow outline, got suddenly larger, and that's because my stitching area changed just slightly from what was on my screen prior. I'm going to begin building my design. I have nothing in my object menu and no properties in the property window to show. I'm going to go to my Merge Design from Library toggle, select it, and I am going to select from the Accuquilt Geometric Shapes. If I click the down arrow, I've got many libraries here. So I'll take the geometric and I'm going to go into the catalog and scroll to the bottom and select the squares. I'm going to click on the square and I'm going to select the 5-inch block or square. There is a die number, 55010. I don't need that because I'm using pre-cut shapes, but this is going to give me a fence in which to lay my 5-inch pre-cut square within my hoop. So I select that shape and select OK, and it automatically jumps into the hoop. As it is, it could be appliqued. What I'm going to do is change that. So I'm going to move over to my Preferences window at the bottom of the Objects window, select Shape, and where it says Border is currently the E-stitch. I select the down arrow and I select None. What that does is that changes my border simply to a straight stitch. And it will stitch as a running or straight stitch. Now I'm going to deselect that by clicking off the item. And now I'm going to add from my libraries the orange peel. So I'm going to go to the Accuquilt, Appliqué Shapes, and it'll take just a minute. There we go. All the way to the bottom. And here I have my orange peel shape. I select its catalog, I select the shape, and I select OK. And the software is intelligent enough that it snaps it immediately to the center of that design space window. I can, if I choose, fill that in by selecting the Appliqué position. Just select that shape again. Up in my Objects menu, I now have 2 objects, meaning I have 2 designs that I've entered. I'm going to select my Appliqué position. I'm going to select the shape, and I'm going to select Fabric Preview, and there you have it. Now I'm good to go. In any way that I take this to my machine, I like to save to my Dropbox, so I'm going to go to File, Save Stitch and Working, and I'm going to select, name it as, let's select my embroidery. I'm going to save it as Orange Peel Basic. You can name it whatever you want. It's automatically selected Jeff, and I'm going to save that. And I'm going to replace the bad one that I created. And Now I can either save it to my USB plug, or I can save the file to any other means in order to get it to my machine. Let me specify, however, that when I am saving to take to my machine, or when I'm moving to a USB drive or whatever, I'm going to not save the working file. I am going to take the stitch file and move it to my desired location. The stitch file will be the one that is readable by your machine. The working file is the one that's readable by the software and is alterable. Meet you at my machine.
Okay, I have my design uploaded to my machine, and I'm getting the first thing that I'm going to stitch is the block outline that goes with the 5-inch square fabric. I have tearaway stabilizer in my hoop, and it's going to be a little noisy, and I apologize, but I think I did this on wash away, and it's also a suggestion, but I think for my purposes the tearaway is going to work really well. So I've got, if you can see it, let me move my hoop your direction, and if you look closely you can see the square that is stitched on the stabilizer. The next step is to actually add some quilt basting spray to the back of a piece of 5-inch square pre-cut, and for that I'm going to turn you around. Alright, for demonstration purposes I've moved you over just a little bit, and this is really this is a piece of just regular kitchen parchment paper, and it's kind of getting a little bit worn, in other words sticky, where I don't want it to be sticky, but I'm going to use it anyway. So I take my pre-cut square and I place it on the parchment paper, and I'm going to use June Taylor quilt basting spray. I like this one because over time it loses its stickiness, so that if I can get all these blocks done and they don't stay too sticky, so that they don't gum up my machine bed when I start stitching them together in a quilt. My pre-cut 5-inch square inside of the stitched lines, and you're going to see that if I can get it stuck down, it actually fits the outside edges of the zigzag of the cut fit into that 5-inch square. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch the placement, and it's pretty well adhered to the tearaway stabilizer. I'm going to stitch my placement for my orange peel. I'm going to take my one stitch, and of course it didn't work because I'm on camera. There we go, one stitch, and now I'm going to start stitching my placement line. You can do, if you're a little worried about this staying on your background, is use a little bit of blue painter's tape in the corners or just along the edges, and it really does work very well. So on to adding my orange peel. Okay, and following the directions that Accuquilt gives for applique, I am now going to take and place my applique piece inside the outline of the orange peel shape. To do that, it should sit back up here, I'm sorry about that. To do that, I'm simply going to take and press my red piece down. Now I did use the quilt basting spray on it, and really for raw edge like this where it could fray in the washing, I would highly recommend fusing it. That's the recommendation, I believe, on the site. But they do have a lot of really good instructions. They don't leave you hanging, that's for sure. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to start, and I'm going to begin and applique this down. And hopefully you'll be able to see the applique stitch. Now I always prepare my fabrics as recommended on the Accuquilt site. I starch them and I press them. This I just didn't, to be honest with you, have any fusible web. I do like steamer seam light for this process. It doesn't seem, especially after it's washed, seems to be a little bit more flexible and just makes it the hand of the quilt a little bit nicer. And my applique is almost done. Can you imagine doing a whole quilt on almost no time at all? That to me is totally amazing. And here we have our block. And using the tearaway, I very carefully just pull it away from the back of my orange peel. And there is nothing left in my block for me to worry about. It is a little sticky, but it will, because of the way the quilt basting spray works, it will clean itself up shortly. And after I take and just clean it just a little bit up, I could even take it out from behind the orange peel, and it'd be nice. There you have it. Perfect. I hope that this has encouraged you to use the Accuquilt Go essentials and to create lots and lots of orange peel quilts. Until next time.